How's it going, everybody? Shadow, Super. Well, I guess you can call me Shadow. I'm Shadow from Shari Nagashaka, or whatever you want to call us, basically. Anyway, for today's video, we're bringing you guys something a little special, I suppose. Some of you may not consider this special, but today we have the likes of the anime free-for-all, which is going to be probably the most dopest thing you'll ever see in your life. Not really, but something that's going to end up cool. For tonight's free-for-all, we have the likes of Madoka, Ruby, Ryuko, Rika, Naruto, Kirito, Natsu, Saitama, Deku, and Goku. Total of 10 fighters, 1 winner. Without further ado, let's introduce our competitors. Starting off with the roster, first we have is Goku. Everyone should know who Goku is, but those out here who don't, Goku is a Saiyan who was sent to Earth by his parents after the destruction of planet Vegeta and the hands of Frieza himself. After Goku crash landed on Earth, his birth name was Kakarot. Once Kakarot landed on Earth, he was found by an old man soon to be known as Grandpa Gohan. Sooner or later, little Goku found out the mountain hitting his head during his first times on Earth. Due to losing his Saiyan aggression, he soon became a mild young boy, soon becoming into a humble hero. Over the course of the years, Goku has been able to transform into many different transformations and gaining new heights and power over time. Goku's transformation consists of Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or known as Super Saiyan Blue for short. And of course, there's his Ultra Instinct Sign and Master Ultra Instinct forms. Of course, he can also use the Kaioken to amplify his Super Saiyan Blue transformation by roughly 20 times. He could, of course, increases far further than that, but times 20 is definitely a significant power boost. Not to mention, this form can easily allow him to move faster than Hit's time manipulation, easily making him faster than frozen time. Overall, Goku is a pretty powerful warrior in the Dragon Ball universe. While he does have main flaws that could be weaknesses, it sure is something that Goku can overcome more times than not. And yes, Goku is a pretty powerful warrior, being able to fight with God to overcome his power, overcome any one of his limits. Moving on to our next companion, we have Ryuko Matoi. Ryuko was the second son of Ragna, of course. Ragna was doing a couple of experiments with life fibers. If you guys don't know, life fibers are basically living, I guess you can consider them aliens, but regardless, they're actually living beings. So, without that further ado, Ragna continued to do a number of experiments with the life fibers, trying to inject them both into both of her daughters. However, Kiwi was way too old for the experiment, while she did try it on Ryuko, she thought it failed, so then decided to abandon and throw away Ryuko. Soon her father decided to go out and save her, then eventually started to raise her on her own. However, she started to cause problems for him, so eventually shipped her out to boarding school. After this, she came home and realized someone murdered her father in cold blood, with half of the blade she uses, known as the scissor blade. She then eventually found a convoy made out of living life fibers, known as Senkets. Senkets is basically, again, a convoy made of life fibers, similar to Goku uniforms, but convoys are made of 100% life fibers. This gives her enhanced speed and strength, eventually incredible endurance, and a small healing factor, thanks to the life fibers injected into her body at birth. Of course, there are plenty of transformations, such as the Kozaragi and the Shippu, which basically are like, the convoy transformations, basically. Overall, Ryuko is a pretty strong warrior in the Kill la Kill universe, being able to transform her convoy into pretty much almost anything like a rocket in a super form, basically. Having a mild regeneration capability, and the scissor blade is really good for helping out in small situations. Our next combatant is Natsu. Natsu is a mage of the Fairy Tail Guild, and he's a member of, you guessed it, Team Natsu. Having originally died 400 years ago, Natsu was among the 5 Dragon Slayers sent from the future 400 years past. Natsu is actually a master of Fire Dragon Slayer magic and makes use of it in many specific ways during combat. Of course, he has his own signature abilities, such as the Fire Dragon Roar, Claw, Horn Fist, and Wing Attack. He also could tap into the Dragon Forge, which can easily increase his power by several, and I mean several times. Of course, Natsu has displayed a wide creed of durability. I can't speak today. Anyway, yeah, Natsu has been proven to be an incredible hand-to-hand fighter, using his Dragon Slayer magic in combination to punches, kicks, and even headbutts. And of course, being a Dragon Slayer, he can consume his respective elements. Of course, being able to eat fire gives him immunity to most types of fires, including explosions and fire blasts. And of course, being a Dragon Slayer, Natsu also suffers from motion sickness. He can easily get sick from riding any form of transportation, even if he happens to be carried by other people. As shown when Lucy carried him a couple of times before, he even can easily get sick from riding information. Overall, Natsu is a very powerful member of Fairy Tail and is a very, very powerful Dragon Slayer. Using Fire Dragon Slayer magic to any of his advantages. Jesus Christ, I can't speak today. Anyway, yeah, continuing this, Natsu is a pretty powerful fighter in his own right. Moving on, we have the caved Baldy, known as Saitama, or better known as the One Punch Man. Saitama is what was once the unknown pedestrian, drifting around looking for, a job to serve his purposes. However, he managed to finally follow his dreams of becoming a true hero. He worked out every single day for 3 years straight, doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 10 kilometers of running, and with this, he actually lost his hair to become the overpowered Baldy that you see before you. Saitama has a few special moves under his belt, such as consecutive punches, normal punches, his serious punch, the table flip, of course, etc., enhanced speed and strength for the most part, mostly beating most of his foes in one punch, though it does take more than one punch to finish off some foes. Usually has two fighting styles, his normal series and serious series. Of course, his serious series is when he actually puts effort into his attacks. With this serious series, the best thing you can do is probably not piss him off. So it's better off to note that Saitama is an extremely force to be reckoned with, being able to be launched to the moon and taking no damage at all, and being able to deflect something that easily can destroy stars. Overall, Saitama is a pretty powerful character in the One Punch universe and is one of the most powerful heroes in the entire Hero Association. Despite having no real fighting skills, Saitama is pretty powerful, being able to survive hits and beating foes with mostly one punch. Next up we have Naruto. Sorry, that was weird. Anyway, Naruto is a knuckle-headed ninja, and I don't even know what to say about this guy. Whatever, Naruto at his strongest is able to destroy entire moons, but it's not really the full size of the moon. Technically it's a hollow moon, we don't know the exact size of it, but it should be safe to say that Naruto's striking strength should be somewhat close to that of moon level. His most natural ability is congruent to that of the Nine-Tails Beast due to the Nine-Tails chakra that was sealed within him during his time when he was born. Naruto can easily transform into many different types of forms, such as his Nine-Tails, Six-Path Sage, Demon Fox Cloak. He even has the abilities of Shadow Clone Jutsu, and of course his signature Rasengan, which is a light-based energy ball. Well, if he does, in his Six-Path Sage mode, which is arguably his most powerful form, he has a major healing factor, and he is super enhanced when it comes to speed and overall strength. Moving on, we have Kirito. I know not much about this character, so I'm just going to make this one short. Kirito is from the Sword Art Online universe, and yeah, he's an expert with a swordsman. He has hypermobility, super enhanced reflexes, sub-relativistic speeds, keeping up with Asuna and most of the other characters in the universe, and he has a higher pain resistance and healing, which is pretty useful for a fight like this, especially since this guy is an expert when it comes to swordsmanship and is a really great thinker. Moving on, we have Izuku Midoriya, aka Deku, or Deku is his hero name for the most part. Deku, of course, as a child, didn't really have a quirk because he wasn't born with one. So, of course, he, didn't really dampen his dreams of becoming a hero, though, like the all-time favorite hero, All Might. One time, Deku managed to meet All Might for the first time, though All Might did give him the celebrity treatment and tell him that basically without a quirk his chances of becoming a hero was pretty much zero, until eventually he did show All Might that he was hero material. And eventually within time, Deku managed to prove All Might that he was worthy enough, and then All Might basically, gave him a lock of his hair, and boom, there you go, he ate it, and now he actually inherits the abilities of One for All. Of course, Deku's abilities are similar to All Might, being the Torch Smash, Delaware Smash, Full Cowling, and his shoot style. Of course, the shoot style and full cowling are things that he came up on his own, but they're pretty cool. The shoot style is basically when he puts One for All's power into his lower torso and legs. It's pretty good for evasive movement and reactionary timing. Full cowling, of course, is when he manages to control One for All's power, though he does stick to 5 and 20% most of the time. But if he does power up responsibly, it doesn't hurt his body as much, but if he doesn't power up to a great extent without recovery, it does damage his body, which can be fatal for him in some situations, especially during a fight like this. Rika can best be described as being the most delusional girl you could find, and what I mean by that is that she's not really like the most powerful one of the bunch, but in the end she does have her own, like, you know, special sort of attributes in a way. Her main umbrella of course can be used as a signature weapon. She uses it for quick base jabs, and she uses it for a lot of melee up close in combat. She can also use it as some sort of makeshift shield, as what she uses it mainly. Of course, the Wicked Lord eyes, because she has an eye patch on her eye. So what she assumes can be the most powerful thing in the entire Shinibyo universe. And yeah, there's not really much I can really say about this character. Moving on, we have Ruby Rose. Ruby, of course, is the leader of Team Ruby, and for plenty of good reasons. Her main weapon is the Crescent Rose, which is basically like a scythe, but also doubles as a makeshift rifle. She can put dust rounds into it, like a lightning dust, fire dust, gravity dust, and pretty much many different types of dust to basically automate her scythe into, you know, again, like a makeshift rifle, basically. Of course, she can use her aura for a small bit of healing, and she has its senses in a long range of combat, basically. Ruby, basically, you know, being the tactician she is, she's pretty smart in her own right. Last but certainly not least, we have Madoka Kaname. Madoka Kaname, of course, comes from the Madoka Magica universe, and she's one of the most powerful magical girls. Well, technically she is the most powerful magical girl, as, you know, of course, she met Kyubey, which of course can offer her to become a magical girl with an exchange of one wish of alone. Her one wish, of course, was to erase the concept of witches, which in doing so, she became a conceptual entity with the ability to literally become almost the entire universe, which is honestly probably one of the most broken things I've ever seen in an anime, let's be honest, but there are more crazy stuff I've seen. Madoka's abilities consist of reality warping, concept manipulation, basically having an unlimited amount of speed, being everywhere and anywhere, conceptual hexes, you know, multi-universal levels of power. She's very strong with using a bow, and she's very tactical at making decisions. Though her being, of course, you know, a teenager, or 14 to be precise, she does need a little more experience. A bit more experience, to say the least. She's not the most experienced out of the bunch, but she can hold her own in a one-on-one fight. There we go. Overall, we have 10 combatants. Only one will end up as the victor at the end of this showdown. Who will it be? Let's find out. Let the showdown begin.
Fusion! Ha! I'm as strong as Goku and Vegeta combined, and then some!